Yes, guys, it is August. Where is the year going? I do not know. But as you can see, I've been a little bit busy. So I'm in my shed. The video of the painting hasn't gone up yet, but I'm in no doubt you'll see it soon. And I've basically cleared out my shed and painted it a really light colour in order to make videos when it's raining, because and sometimes when other people in the garden, because the thing of it is no matter how much you do it, talking into the camera on your own still feels really odd. And so sort of having this little space, yeah, it's going to be a blessing, just to come out here and I don't know, relay some of my thoughts, show you guys some of the things I've been up to, which leads me on to the first thing. I've grown a cucumber. How cool is that? Why so serious? Yeah, I'm absolutely buzzing with that. So I planted the cucumber plant in like this little planter I've got down the side of the house, and then I was meant to train it up into the veg area, and it just literally was like crawling along the floor. And yeah, I just suddenly thought, like, I wonder if anything's grown on it, because I've not like sort of tied it up or anything, like really badly. Bad of me for not doing it. Anyway, so I had a look and there was a cucumber. I like literally like shouted my wife and was like, "Come quick, have a look at this," and then got her to record me posing with the cucumber. But yeah, so buzzing with that. I keep on putting it in the fridge so it's really cold, but then I've got it out to show you guys. But yeah, so you will see soon the video for this. Not on here. It's not a long form video. It'll be a short form video of me painting and that. But yeah, really pleased with it, and it just means I haven't got a load of stuff in here, and I've got a little bit of a workable space, because yeah, at times it is very much needed. So yeah, let me take you around the garden and yeah, show you what's been happening. I'll be honest, I've in fact, I'm going back into my shed a little bit, because I want to tell you guys why I've been a bit quiet. So I have been a little bit quieter. I think every year I'm loving gardening. I'm putting so much pressure on myself to sort of get the garden in like as best sort of shape as possible. And then you sort of get opportunities to work with amazing companies as well. And I put so much pressure on myself to make content, like the best content I can. I've got no background in sort of making content. I don't make videos in my day job or anything like this. Everything's sort of self-taught, like messing around and experimenting and seeing how things come. So you put so much pressure on yourself, and sort of every year I get to July and I just feel like so lethargic and so like I haven't got any energy, and I'm sort of like always just scratching my head as to why that is. And I think I've put my finger on it. I think this year I've realised that it's the tree pollen from my big Italian chestnut tree. And yeah, as soon as that pollen started coming down, started feeling worse. When I would go out and try and sweep it up and get rid of it, I remember doing it one Friday evening, and then for the rest of that weekend I was absolutely like totaled, like sort of felt really bad. And so yeah, I'm thinking, obviously I won't be able to cut the tree down. I absolutely love the tree, but I'm thinking of sort of getting a tree surgeon I've had a tree surgeon round just to have a look at it, to maybe get it pollarded, or something like that, just so it's not as big and there's not so much pollen coming down and it's a bit more manageable. So from getting being sort of really sort of bad with the tree pollen, I was waking up every morning, I was coughing stuff. My missus was like, "You've got to go to the doctors, like there's something wrong with you." Anyway, ended up having like tonsillitis, so then I was on antibiotics, and then I was painting the shed, because I'd literally, like you promise, like my thing is my word. So I've said I'm going to paint my shed for collaboration and stuff, and I want to get that done. Even though the company I was working with was like, oh yeah, it's fine sort of thing. I want to get it done. Like, I'm putting pressure on myself. So yeah, I've just got that done, and then I've had to just have a little bit of a break, just a bit of a breather to sort of, yeah, just recuperate. So yeah, but I'm going to take you around. My idea is, so I've got some pictures and stuff that were up here before, but you couldn't really see them because you had stuff on there, and I'm going to have them there and sort of have them a bit more sort of pride of place. This is my high vis that Steph got me in bright pink, so I look like an absolute wally in it. It's got my name on, so that's cool. So yeah, going to do this up a little bit better so it's like a nice background, and then yeah, I'm going to take you around the garden. So it's looking absolutely incredible. There's a few things that I've not done very well that next year I know to do better. I can talk to you about those things. There's a few things that I've sort of tried this year and it's gone really well. So yeah, I can tell you about those as well. So what I'll do is I'll turn you around and then take you around. So tomatoes are coming on really well. You can see absolutely massive. And yeah, there's been periods of rain, but it's not been like a really wet summer, which has meant a few things have struggled, but overall majority of things have done quite well. It's getting to the point where I need to sort of take the tops of my tomatoes off to try and get these tomatoes ripened in time. And that, what you'll notice is there's a few sort of stray tomatoes in here. I've never known so many tomatoes to just grow. Look, there's one there that going up into here. I've never known so many tomatoes to just sort of grow from what must be like the seed that has fallen from last year's tomatoes. The sweet peas were over, and I've planted one in here. Hopefully it picks up. I've given it a big feed, and I've planted one in here. Obviously I've transplanted them, taken them out of the soil to then put there. So I don't know how they'll do, but yeah, we'll see. Because I did more varieties last year where I didn't this year. So we've got courgettes. We've had quite a few courgettes. Got a few more growing there. So there's 4 courgettes there. I keep forgetting about them, and then they go massive. So that's my weakness. So these here, guys, I'm going to eat this on camera. So this, I think it would go a little bit bigger, but this is Lady Di runner beans. And I went to Jenny's allotment last year, and she basically was growing these, and they taste absolutely incredible. Like, they taste so good. They're like a lot sweeter than normal runner beans. You can literally sort of just pick them off and eat them. So good. So yeah, you can see also they're a really nice flower, which has given me a bit of an idea. I've had a few sort of thoughts this year, because like the courgette looks very sort of jungly, the way it looks in that. Sorry, I just have a little bit more of a munch, but yeah. So I'm thinking that next year I might put a few plants into my actual garden, like a few edibles into my sort of more ornamental section. Just an idea, and I think I might do it, because like these, they're so easy. You just put the beans into the soil and they do their thing. Like, you can see how tall they've grown. Incredible. And they're used to, like, they like British weather as well. So if it's a wet year, I presume they still do as well. This year I've planted a lot of nasturtiums everywhere. So here, a lot of these, they were seeds from last year that I just left to go into the soil. And as we go on, so this patio is still looking nice. Yeah, as we go to this section here, I've put nasturtiums into there, and they look so good. So yeah, I digress. this section into here, I've got strawberries in hanging baskets. Next year I'm going to do more strawberries in hanging baskets. I've really liked having them in hanging baskets. I don't have to worry about slugs and stuff getting them. When I had them before, I had a massive problem with slugs getting them, and it was just really annoying. So yeah, I've planted these up, and I've got the lights, and they look really nice. So one thing I didn't do very well this year, I didn't water. We had like a really dry spell, and I didn't water very much, and a lot of the garden was okay for it, but the hydrangea Annabelles weren't very good for it at all. And you can see that one's a little bit better because it gets a little bit less sun. But yeah, they've really suffered for it. Even now they need a bit of a water, so I'll have to give them a water later. So what normally happens is you have the hardy geraniums here, and they look really good, but they start to really look a bit bedraggled and that. Once they'd flowered, and I'll sort of deadhead them and I get a few more flowers, but not loads. So then you have the hydrangeas, and you have the Verbena bonariensis, Verbi B. Well, the problem is, this year is obviously the hydrangeas haven't really taken over, so it just doesn't get that sort of same look behind. But what I have done this year is I heard about the Hampton Hack. I think that's what it was called. And basically the hardy geraniums I cut down to the bottom, and it felt mental when I was doing it, and they've come back really well. So it's really filled out again, and it's not as high as it was sort of in June, but yeah, it's come back really well. So I'm going to do that every year. Verbena bonariensis. What an amazing plant, that's all I can say. Absolutely love it, and as you can see, the bees do too, so that's what matters really, isn't it? But yeah, here you can see the nasturtiums, and again, really easy. Nasturtium seeds, just direct sow the nasturtium seeds, and you can see I've sort of done them all the way along. Well, I'm hoping to see more and more flowers come in. I'm hoping last year it was really good for the nasturtium seeds just to like re-sow themselves. So I'm hoping that sort of happens again, because I've got a lot of bedding in here, and I'm trying to sort of have more and more perennials and put less and less sort of pressure on myself to be sort of planting every year. So that's what I'm doing around the whole garden. So every year, I'll be honest with you, some of the things are sort of working with companies, excuse the duck, but I am also spending like a few £100 myself in perennials to try and basically invest so that I'm not buying annuals every year. But Helenium look incredible. Now, one thing I would tell you guys that I'm going to improve next year is if I show you down here, is that a good spot? If I show you here, so there's the Chelsea chop, yeah? Those ones there I Chelsea chopped, and I like the way, like at the minute, the Heleniums look a little bit tall. Now the reason I didn't do all of them is because I planted a lot of them for the first time this year. I wanted them to really sort of get sort of established, and I didn't want to sort of upset them too much and that. So going forward in years coming, I'll be Chelsea chopping them all, because the ones that I did it to, they do look better. So yeah, that's something I'm going to be doing. This border I've absolutely loved this year, absolutely loved it. You see the dahlias coming now. There's one out here. Look at that. It looks lovely. We'll talk about dahlias in a minute, because the section where I've planted a lot of dahlias, it's not really worked this year, but we'll talk about that soon. But yeah, that's my hot border. As you guys will know, I put the raised bed in this year. It was to stop the football from rolling onto the bed constantly. The football still goes onto the bed. I think it's starting to rain. It's starting to rain, guys. Look how hot it is. And it's starting to rain. That's crazy. But yeah, the ball still goes in. Me and Jay laugh about it when we're playing football. We say, mind the plants, mind the plants. It is what it is. I'm never going to sort of get too upset. There are times where I get a little bit upset, but at the end of the day, it's his garden to enjoy too. Jay's my son, by the way. Not, I ain't got any pets. But yeah, verbena. So what I've tried to do is, because I like lots of different things, I try to, so this one's very pinky, but so it sort of flows, I'll put like a few plants the same from here into there, so it doesn't just change, so it sort of, yeah, it does sort of flow through. But yeah, we've had loads of football this year. It's been awesome. Crocosmia, guys, it's so underrated. Like, I know it sort of can go a bit crazy. It's a bit foggish. But yeah, I really love it. So yeah, that's one that's, it will take over. So careful where you put it, because obviously we've got it all the way over there and we've got it all the way over here. So yeah, it will sort of take over the border. And then we go over here. You've got hardy geraniums. Now this year I experimented with a few other things to plant things sort of in pots on the fences and stuff. They didn't do as well as the hardy geraniums, the pelargoniums, sorry. Yeah, so going forward, if there's things that they are going to be very dry, they're not going to get a bit like much water, I'm just going to go with pelargoniums. Jungle section, not much has changed, apart from the hollyhocks have gone over, unfortunately. They didn't look as good this year. I don't know why, guys. They look more yellow than pink, which was really frustrating. But yeah, they didn't look as good, so I didn't even take any photos with them. But yeah, the other year they looked incredible. Red hot pokers, snapdragons have looked really good. You're getting a little bit of black spot on some of the roses now. Hardy geraniums in here look awesome. Rosam. I love this section. So one of my autumn projects is to do a compost bin here. So I've cleared this space, so I've got the space. Yeah, I really love this section. So obviously I never show, because I'm always like got the camera down at the plants, and I don't think I ever show you, like this is a pull-up bar, and then I've got a TRX thing. So yeah, I work out here, and then like this is what I'm looking at. It's really cool. And yeah, hostas, it's been the year of the hosta. Hostas have done really well. Really pleased with how they've done. This is the bench from my Gardener's World design. This is a Fatsia from Lidl that was like £5. It's crazy. Got a bit of a gap here. I did plant something there, but it didn't come back, unfortunately. So black bamboo, it's in a pot, don't worry. The pond has looked after itself. I feel like the sections that look really good, I always just skip through. So it's one of them where you probably don't get to see it as much as what you would like. So I just spend a little bit of time in this section. The fish have come up. I ain't got any fish food on me, but here they are. So I had a few goldfish from my granddad's pond that he was getting rid of, and he said, don't worry, they won't breed. Did they breed? Yes. So now there's loads of them in there. And then I've got my ghost koi in there, which are a little bit hardier than the sort of traditional Japanese koi. So less pressure on keeping them alive. This section, so this is a section where I planted a lot of my dahlias. They've not done that great, and I think I've got this. I'm a little bit, I don't know what to do. You guys might have to let me know. So I've got this buxus here, as you can see. It's a little bit worse for wear. I've spoken about it before. just as it sort of looks like it's waking up, it goes again. Obviously it's Buxus moth that's doing it. Part of me is like, do I just rip it out? But then I think it softens it. But then the problem is in the summer, the sun is up there, yeah? So it's one of those where it's blocking out a lot of sun, I think, for a lot of these dahlias. And these dahlias, they've just not put any size on that. Granted, I've not been very good at feeding, so maybe some of it's on me. I've got one dahlia, I'll show you guys this. Cafe au lait. It is a good one, to be fair. Yeah, canners have done really well there, look really cool. I feel like I need to do something different there though going forward, but I have liked having them there. I think I sat in that chair and showed you guys like the view from sitting here. That's why it's there, even though it does look a bit weird just being here, but it's just such a nice place to sit. So yeah, I'm this section, I'm a little bit sort of not happy with it and sort of thinking, how can I improve it? Because there's something not right with it and I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. So if you guys have any ideas, do let me know. That's why we do this thing, isn't it? Like sharing our gardens and stuff. Yeah, if you've got any ideas on how I can improve this area, let me know. So I've jet washed this, believe it or not, but it's not come up very good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some sort of treatment. I've asked you guys on Instagram what treatments you've had success with. I don't want anything sort of too like nasty, but I'm gonna have to use something because it's just not coming up. So yeah, I'll be doing that. Here's my sandpit that I made for Jay with the last remnants of stuff. So when I was painting the shed, I'll show you the shed with the door shut so you can see. When I was painting it, I had everything out all over the patio. So yeah, it's lovely to finally start. Oh, that blackberry's not looking good. I can't show you that yet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that out of the way. If I move it out of the way though, I'll forget about it. Right, I'm going to put it in the water, but right. So to be fair, you won't realise what it is from just seeing it, but basically I went to Fothergill's the other week, and that's like an exclusive blackberry that's coming out soon. So I've recorded a load of footage. I'm going to show you guys that, and then yeah, I'll tell you all about that. It's really cool. Yeah, there's a waterfall. I don't get, like, the whole purpose of this bench was to have be able to sit there with a cup of tea and stuff. I don't get to sit there much, guys. I really don't. So maybe at some point that does go, maybe. But yeah, we'll see. And excuse the weed killer there, that's something that I don't use now. that was like from when I first started gardening many years ago, so don't at me. But yeah, that's how the garden's looking, guys. Need to really, I've sort of dumped things on there to jet wash. I really need to sort of tidy up this area, as you can see. But I'm really pleased with how the garden's looking. I think I've been working on that much stuff that by the time I've sort of got finished, I'm probably the other side of the sort of heights of summer, if that makes sense. So I think that's something that I need to be aware of next year. Is I think everything's been a little bit. Let me go back into here, back into the shed quarters, guys. I think everything has been a little bit earlier this year. So yeah, it's one of those where I can't be too annoyed with myself, but I do think that I was sort of working on the garden, and then I've got past the optimum point of like when the garden's looking, if that makes sense, minus like the dahlias. So obviously they're later, and like some of the cosmos and stuff. So it's one of them where sort of next year I want to be more mindful of the fact that I want to be a little bit further ahead. And I think as I've been working on the garden each year, obviously I've been sort of really transforming the garden and that, and I've been transitioning to sort of more and more perennials. I'll start to reap the benefits of that in terms of there won't be as many things I have to do on each section, so it won't be as much of a slog at some points. And I say a slog, I use that word, I don't like using that word, because this is something we do to really enjoy. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're doing it to enjoy it. But the reason I say a slog is because I think we put so much pressure on ourselves time wise that it's just one of those where if you don't get everything ready and looking good by a certain time of the year, you've almost missed the boat. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like this year, I think other years I have missed the boat. I think by the time I've sort of got done with a lot of my projects and stuff like that, I have missed the boat, because I've had so much sort of going off all through the garden, and that's one of the reasons why I think about pollarding the tree as well, because it's so much work to get all the leaves up. Obviously, if I do the compost bin, I can compost a lot of them. That'll be good. But yeah, it's a lot of work to sort of keep on top of. And I think if you don't get things done by a certain date, you've then sort of missed the boat. And this year, I think I've just got things done in time to enjoy it a little bit. And now we're sort of coming over the hill, and some of the plants they've gone. Do you know what I mean? And I've sort of cut some plants back in the hope that I get another flourish and stuff. But yeah, next year I want to be I don't know, every year I aim to sort of get some really good footage of my garden, and I feel like every year I'm not ready to get that footage. And by the time I am ready to get the footage, by sort of tidying everything and that, because I am quite a messy person, so when I'm doing the projects I've got stuff everywhere. So like with the patio, for instance, when I was doing the sandpit, there's sawdust everywhere, there's bits of wood everywhere. Yeah, same as when I'm doing the shed, there's like paint everywhere, there's stuff all over the patio from taking everything out. So yeah, I think I'm waffling a little bit here now, guys. Apologies for this, and thank you if you're still here listening. But yeah, I think it's one of those where I've just sort of got to the point where I can relax and enjoy the garden, and I'm already like, the garden's already over the hill, and I think next year I want to get everything done by June or sort of mid-June, so that I'm then just enjoying the garden and doing things I want to do, instead of thinking, oh, I've got to do this, oh, I've got to do that. We do enough of that in February, March, April, May. I don't need to still be thinking in June, oh, I've got to do this, oh, I've got to do that. I think that's what sort of becomes overwhelming and sort of tiring, is the sort of putting the time constraint and pressure on yourself to get things done, especially when you've do you know what I mean, got little ones, and you want to just enjoy the garden with them, and you want to just be enjoying summer with them, but instead you sort of working on a project that you've got to get done. So yeah, they're my thoughts in my head. Sorry to like put that on you guys. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you can like and subscribe, there's so many of you watch and you're not subscribed. I'm not offended, don't worry. I'm just happy you watched. When I first started doing these, not many people watched them, so and I still did them because I do enjoy doing them. I enjoy sort of getting my thoughts together, and sort of think sometimes that even though I'm sort of talking into a camera, just talking into the camera, you get your thoughts together, you sort of compartmentalize them, is that right? And then just from you guys go, oh yeah, I know what you mean, like and saying an example of how you guys have felt that, or just agreeing even, you really sort of then it makes you think, oh, I'm not I'm not going doolally. I'm not a Fruit Loop. There is sort of a thought process behind what I'm saying, if that makes sense. So yeah, obviously got this space now, so the idea is to hopefully show you guys more. I can sort of hide myself in the shed. Maybe I get a big lamp. You're on my potting bench at the minute, and it's a small potting bench I can move around. Maybe I get a big lamp. Maybe I can do whatever you guys sort of want me to do, or talk about what you guys want me to do. I've got recordings of stuff that I haven't got round to sort of editing yet, like Gardener's World, Fothergill, stuff like that I can go through, show you guys stuff, show you guys the best show, like my favourite show gardens from this year, and things that we can take from that into our gardens and stuff like that. So yeah, and I've just remembered, so the thing I was going to say about the edibles and planting them within the growing space, that's something that I'm thinking about doing next year, more of. So in the jungle section, in the sort of planters, I've just got like pelargoniums, but it's like in some ways it's wasted space because they never do that great. So I think to myself, like, well, I could plant a courgette plant there and it have massive leaves, really sort of contrast well against some of the sort of jungle type plants, and yeah, it would just look good. But then I sort of also get courgettes, and then in the hot border where I've got red, oranges, few yellows, I could plant some of the Lady Di runner beans because they get red flowers, and that would look really lovely, and then I'd get more food. So yeah, I'm thinking next year. So if you guys have got any ideas on that, on sort of what little things that you can grow, like edibles, amongst normal sort of ornamental borders, like, let me know. I'm all ears, because I think that would be really cool. So, and I've got to be more organised next year as well, because some of the things that I may have in the pipeline. So I'm going to say it out loud, I'm getting the itch to potentially do like something at a show again. I didn't really have the itch. I think after I'd done Gardener's World, I was I want to do a show garden, and then obviously that fell through, and then I think I've been working on other stuff. I've been concentrating on my garden, working with some amazing companies that I literally never would have thought I would work with, and I'm always grateful for those opportunities, because it just blows my mind. Do you know what I mean? It really does. And then just this year when I've gone to the shows and stuff, I've sort of felt a bit of an itch, a bit of a, you should do something again at some point. So next year hopefully there'll be that. So yeah, got a few ideas, and we'll see where that goes. But yeah, anyway, this is what I do. I go off on tangents and then carry on talking, and yeah, that's just what I do. Anyway, guys, thank you as always for watching. If you can like and subscribe, that would be amazing. But more importantly, look after yourselves, and I'll catch you on the next one.